Hello and welcome to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Thursday, July 2nd. If this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. What up? How's it going? Good. That's great. Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Um, if you don't know what this is about, we're doing smart football but dumb. We're doing smart football, comma dumb. There's plenty of shows out there that are going to give you the advanced stats and everything like that. A lot of that just kind of ends up being mumbo jumbo. That's for some people. It's for me. I like it, but not everybody does. So we're gonna take all that kind of stuff into account, and then we're just gonna do dumb. We're just gonna dumb it down. You know what I mean? We're just gonna make it make it not as smart, not as I don't want to say hoity-toity, but I'm good. Make it not as hoity-toity. Make it uh, less less nerd. You know what I mean? Jocks for life. Let's bash nerds. All right. We are going through every single division for the next however many weeks. And we're going to talk about the changes that teams have made in the offseason. It is the offseason. There is football. There's not football this month. There's training camps this month. That's cool. It's still a long way away, but at least there'll be something new. There'll be pictures of people playing and videos of people playing football on a field, on a practice field, in the next 30 days. So that's dope. We like that a lot. But like I said, we're going through every single division, going through every single team. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I listened to the last one, didn't really like how it went. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two episodes per division. So we're going to cover each team twice. One episode is going to be the positives, like the changes that teams made during the offseason, and the good things that can happen. The other one, we're going to do negatives, okay? Because if you're a Chargers fan, like we're doing the AFC West today, if you're a Chargers fan, you want to hear about the good things the Chargers did. You don't give a shit about the good things that the Chiefs and the Broncos did. You don't care about that. But on the other hand, if you're a Chargers fan, you do want to hear about the shit that they did that's gonna suck. That's we're pleasing everybody and also nobody at the same time. But it's the positive one, so we're pleasing everybody. That's what we're doing. Okay, AFC West. So from 2015 to 2024, the Chiefs reigned supreme. The Chiefs were the hog swinging, the big D swinging, big dick swinging in the AFC West. That changed. That changed last year in a big way. Ended up being the Broncos that kind of took over, and it was an interesting season. I mean, for a minute there, it looked like the Chargers were going to do something that kind of fell apart. And then it fell apart even more in the postseason. But the Broncos were the ones that did it, and they were a hair away from a broken ankle away from making it to the Super Bowl. Uh, oh well, Jarrett Stidham happens. He's not Nick Foles. But let's talk about it. We're going to go down through the standings from last season. So first thing that we're going to talk about, first team we're going to talk about is the Broncos. Okay, Broncos, not exactly the most like exciting offseason. I would say that's accurate. They're not. It's not exactly an exciting offseason. I'm typically not a fan of a team running it back. On offense, I don't like it when a team runs it back. On defense, run it back because defense is significantly less sticky year over year. The defenses will be good some years and then just be absolute dog shit some other years. And if you can keep if you can keep all 11 guys on defense, hell yeah. If you only miss a few rotational guys, if you only change a few rotational guys, that's not bad as long as those rotational guys aren't fucking Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. Like, you get what I mean. Like, if you can keep the main, not even just the core, but everybody that's not a rotational piece the same, I'm all for that. On offense, it's a little bit different. I like a little bit of change there. But that's kind of where the Broncos are. They didn't do a whole lot. Let's see. If they did not sign a whole lot of people from, or trade for a whole lot of people from around the league. I mean, it's really just Jalen Waddle. That's it. That's where we're going to start. Is the biggest thing that they did. The number one is they traded for Jalen Waddle. They traded a first and maybe like a third to the Dolphins. This is before the draft and got Jalen Waddle. He's a he's good, man. He's a good player. He's real like he's a gravitational kind of player. Now, it's kind of weird because we haven't seen him be the first be the guy in an offense really. Like last year he did, but that offense sucked. So it's kind of unfair to say that he really got a full season of being the guy when the Dolphins couldn't really throw the ball or really do anything. That being said, he did make their passing offense watchable, kind of. And that's just about as big of a compliment as you can give somebody, is saying that you made a dog shit product like the Dolphins passing offense and made it something that people could watch. Otherwise, who really gives a shit? You know what I mean? So that's what Jalen Waddle. I mean, he adds when he's going to come to Denver. He's gonna have gravity. You know, they already the Broncos do have Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin, and Troy Franklin is a fine receiver. Cortland Sutton's a good receiver. With Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton being their two outside wide receivers, when I say that, I mean guys that run over 2/3 of their routes lined up as a wide, but lined up out wide, not being a slot guy. I would argue that aside from maybe the Bengals, that's probably the best outside wide receiver combo in the NFL, because I mean that's taken out the Rams with Puka and the Lions with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton is a very, very good combo as far as outside wide receivers go. He can do everything anywhere on the field. Last year he didn't really catch a whole lot of stuff in the middle of the field. He didn't really have that many targets in the middle of the field. That's in a Mike McDaniel offense. He is lined up out wide outside, and it takes more time and for those kinds of plays to develop. So I'm not really going to hold much weight. I don't think that really holds much weight. But the dude's awesome, man. And he's fast. He's good. He's everything. He's got the waddle. Is the touch. We're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see. You're going to get tired of waddling. Is that a bold prediction? No, it's not. You're just gonna get tired of it. You're gonna be like, oh, this guy's fucking waddling again, man. It was a dickhead. But no, he's good. He's great. I think this is there's a knockout trade for the Broncos offense. That's really the biggest change that they've made on that offense. And it's massive. It's getting a wide receiver like that is gonna make Bo Nix's job a whole lot easier. And then also kind of with Bo Nix, this isn't really a change, but I did want to add this. Um, I would say you'd be hard to find somebody who said that he wasn't significantly worse in 2025 than he was in 2024. Like, you remember that I think it was a Week 17 game in 2024, that overtime game with the Bengals, and he threw that fucking awesome moonshot. I think we're gonna get more of that, which is great. That's pretty, and you love that, and it makes you feel a certain kind of way. Get some tight pants. Get some tight pants. So that's good. Jalen Waddle, bang up job. Other change that they made on offense. Davis Webb is their new offensive coordinator. And this is kind of a weird thing. So Joe Lombardi was their guy last year. He's gone. So Davis Webb is a 31-year-old cat. He's only had, and we've seen this a couple times this year. I know it's definitely Sean Mannion. David Blau also, like I'm talking about OCs that have gotten hired without a whole lot of coaching experience. David Blau's almost even like greener than both Davis Webb and Sean Mannion. Sean Mannion, the Eagles OC, David Blau, the Commanders OC. Davis Webb, he's been the Broncos quarterbacks coach since 2023 is when he got his start there. The kind of weird thing about this is that he's going to be both the Broncos offensive coordinator and their play caller, which is like, I think that's the first time that Sean Payton has ever had an OC be a play caller. So that's definitely going to be different. I got to imagine that he's going to run a tighter offense than Joe Lombardi did last year. I imagine it's going to look a lot of the same. Um, like a lot of the same concepts. It's not going to be like a change from like a running isolated routes to doing like a Shanahan style thing where it's a scheme lord thing, which we'll end up getting to with the Chargers. But I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of different, like scheme wise. And also he's going to be working with more tools because again he has Jalen Waddle. What I do like about this though, and I don't know if this is necessarily going to. I think in a perfect world, if you're a Broncos person, I don't necessarily know if it'd be a good thing, but this gives the Broncos a ripcord because if Davis Webb starts this season, let's see what their first call it 4 games are: Chiefs, Jags, Rams, 49ers, Chargers. I mean, that's 3 divisional games. If you get to that week 6 game against, well, no, because that game's on a Thursday. After week 6, so it goes Chiefs, Jags, Rams, 49ers, Chargers, Seahawks, and then you kind of have a mini bye week between week 6 and 7 before they go to Arizona. That gives them a little bit of a if that offense isn't doing well, then Sean Payton can be like, I'm gonna call plays now. It's kind of a all hope isn't lost if the offense looks like it's not sequencing plays, being like making where it gives them an out. It gives them an out so that if the offense looks bad, they can do something about it. I feel like that makes sense. You're smart enough to understand what I'm saying, so that's good. I like the Davis Webb, and he's a young dude, and potentially has the ability to maybe hang around. I don't. That's the thing with some of these young offensive coordinators, is teams are trying to get these guys young. That way, if they are a hot shot, they can keep them around a little bit longer. Like I don't necessarily. What I'm trying to say is I don't necessarily know if Davis Webb knocks it out of the park this year. Is a team going to hire him as a head coach after he has 2023, 2024, 25, 26, 4 years of coaching? Are you going to hire an offensive coordinator to a head coaching job if he only has 4 years of coaching? And he'll only be 32 years old. So there's a possibility that the Broncos could rip it out if things aren't going well, or they could have him for a couple years, which that's always that kind of continuity is that's a good thing that does not happen that often. I think there's 21 new offensive coordinators in the NFL this year, which is nuts. I guess there are 11 new head coaches. Still nuts. Still nuts. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing that the Broncos did that I think has a positive, and I'm going to say positive on this. I'm not going to go negative. They re-signed J.K. Dobbins, and I know that's scary because he got drafted by the Ravens in 2020. Good rookie season. 2021 tore his ACL in the preseason. 2022 had a knee surgery in the middle of the season and missed 6 games. 2023 he popped his Achilles in week 1. 2024 sprained his MCL, missed 4 games, and then 2025 he missed the last 7 games after a Liz Frank injury. Liz Frank is the foot thing. There's different like levels to a Liz Frank with all these kinds of things, with all these foot things. There's a 1, 2, and a 3 grade. The 3rd grade one, that's the way to say it. The grade 3 one, that sounds European. The 3rd grade one is the one that like requires surgery and you're out for a long time. And it seems like that's the one that he had. He missed the last 7 games of the season, and well, including the playoffs. So he's an injured guy. However, when he's there, the dude rocks, man. J.K. Dobbins rocks. Going back to him in Ohio State, the guy just rocks. He only played 10 games last year with the Broncos. 772 yards, which was the 25th most yards after playing only 10 games, and he had 5 yards per carry, which is ranked 7th out of everybody in the NFL. The guy's real good if he's there, and I think I'm going to stay positive. Getting J.K. Dobbins back is that. I mean, it's a win. So their running back room now is J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Jonah Coleman. So it's largely the same as what we saw last year. But damn it, man, J.K. Dobbins, when he's there, he's so good. Think about like what pending a Another one of those first or early season just debilitating injuries. You're going to have him there for uh, a pair of divisional games. That's good. Take advantage of him while you can, I think is what I'm going to say. So I like that the Broncos, they not massive changes on offense. They didn't do any changes on defense really. Who is it? What's his name? Who's the guy that left? Who's John Franklin Myers left? He went to Tennessee with Robert Saleh, defensive end, edge rusher. Went to Tennessee to be back with Robert Saleh. They got rid of Dre Greenlaw, which I don't like. Dre Greenlaw. I don't think Dre Greenlaw really likes. Dre Greenlaw, their linebacker from last year was 49ers linebacker before that. He either really loves himself or he also hates himself. So there might just not be like anybody who likes Dre Greenlaw. Call it a coin flip. But so yeah, they didn't really lose a whole lot on defense, but that's totally fine because their defense rocks, and I imagine it'll be a top 3 defense this year. They're good all the way around. So that's the Broncos. Going to the Chargers. Chargers came in second place last year, like I said. They had the worst offensive line in the NFL last year. And a lot of that was, I would say a lot of it was due to injuries. Okay, so they signed Rashawn Slater, their left tackle, on August 27th, I think, late in August. Maybe it was late in July. Anyway, they signed him to his big contract because he's really good. He's a really good left tackle. And then 13 days later, he tore his patellar tendon, out for the entire season. So he'll come back healthy. He'll come back, is what I'm going to say. Maybe not healthy, but that's going to be the negative one. God, staying positive. Also, so what him going out meant that Joe Alt, their really good right tackle, ended up going to left tackle. Joe Alt only played in 6 games last year. He missed weeks 5, 6, and 7 with a high ankle sprain. Played in week 8. Played, I think, like 20-something snaps in week 9. Hurt it real bad. Had to get surgery, went on the IR. And then there was 6 guys that rotated in it at just left tackle. So their offensive line, the injuries were debilitating for them. They also got Mekhi Becton in free agency, coming off of that awesome year that he had in Philadelphia. He ended up not being good for the Chargers. Turns out he, good depending on what team he's playing for. So that was bad. Also, I said 6 guys rotated in at left tackle, 5 guys rotated in around at right tackle. So what the Chargers did, I mean, what they had to do, they could not do that because Justin Herbert just got the shit kicked out of him all season. The guy was under pressure and getting hit and sacked. The guy got the shit kicked. He broke his, like, was it like the middle of his hand or like the middle hand bone? He like broke that and he's like wearing a cast on. It was bad, man. The dude just got there. It got to a point where people were like, oh man, that Justin Herbert is tough. And that's a good quality in a quarterback. You don't ever want your quarterback to be called tough because that means that there's a reason that he's being called tough, and that's just because he's getting his dick pushed in, play in and play out. So what the Chargers, their entire offseason had to be centered around getting that offensive line right. They signed Tyler Biadasz, the center from Washington. They signed him. They drafted Jake Slaughter to be a guard, which he's never really played guard, and then they also signed Cole Strange, the Dolphins guard. I don't necessarily know about the Jake Slaughter and the Cole Strange thing, but it's got to be better. It can't be worse. It can't be worse. So the offensive line is going to be better. That's the good. That's the good. The offensive line can't. The bar was low. The bar was Mariana Trench. It was bad, man. It was real bad. So the offensive line is going to be better. That's a huge thing. I'm glad that they made moves to get that offensive line better. Okay, that's what I'm going to say for the positive. That's the first thing. Second thing, They have Mike McDaniel is their new offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel, 4 years as the OC. I mean, he's been around, but as far as OC goes and play caller goes, uh, 4 years in San Francisco from 2018 to 2019, 20 from 18 to 21, and then 22 to 25 as the Dolphins head coach. He gets fired, obviously, because their team sucked. Because bad coaches should get fired. The general rule. So he goes to he goes to L.A. Good for him, being in warm weather. He looked miserable when he was in cold weather in Buffalo and all that. So he's in L.A. now. Scheme lord, run game savant. It's a it's it's kind of weird because Greg Roman was their offensive coordinator. Greg Roman sticks to Harbaugh's because Jim Harbaugh is their head coach. Greg Roman sticks to the Harbaugh family like flies on shit, man. He just sticks to him because now he's actually with John Harbaugh in 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 New York with the Giants. But Greg Roman runs like a 1970s style run game kind of offense. Like that's his calling card. Whereas Mike McDaniel runs a it's a Shanahan style run game where there's a lot of movement, focusing on outside zones. In 7 of the last 8 seasons, his offense has been in the top 10 of just the number of runs to the outside. Like this he runs a very very creative offense, and you do those wide zones, those outside zones. It makes it so that tackles just aren't on, and like they're able to get moving, and they get some help from tight ends and stuff like that. Like they signed Charlie Kolar from the Ravens, which is great. He's a very good run blocking tight end. I think this run game is going to be really good, and O'Marion Hampton's going to have a good time. As far as the passing game goes, he does a very creative one. I mean, you think about all those 22 and 23, those good seasons where that Dolphins offense and the Tyreek Hill were like crouching down behind the line, all kinds of movement and stuff like that. He's a scheme lord. He schemes guys open. That's what he does. He was the most sought after OC candidate this year, and the Chargers got him. And it's going to be the passing game is going to be good with Justin Herbert because he can sling it, and the run game is going to be much better because it's not going to be boring and shitty. That's I mean, it's a win no matter which way you look at it. Maybe Mike McDaniel's not the best head coach as an offensive coordinator, though. Some bitch can call a game. Okay, he's good. Um, their third good thing that they did, and this one might be a reach, is that they drafted Akeem Mesidor. He's the 25-year-old edge rusher from Miami. We're not going to focus on the age here. That will be for the negative show. But they lost to Dafe Owe, who they traded for in the beginning of last year. He was with the Ravens, and then he went to go play with Jesse Minter in the Chargers, and kind of just did real good. He did a lot better with the Chargers than he did with the Ravens. They lost him, so they re-signed Khalil Mack, and they drafted Akeem Mesidor. Khalil Mack's never been bad. But Akeem Mesidor, the thing with drafting an older player like that is that you're really hoping that the guy doesn't have any, doesn't need to, he's going to need to develop, but you're going to hope that he doesn't need to develop as much because he's spent that much time in a college weight room. Now he's getting, that's not a, you draft those young guys, you might need to wait a couple years for them to fill out their frame and stuff like that by spending more time in an NFL weight room. You draft an older guy, he's more developed. If they're in kind of a win now situation, which I could see them being one of those kind of win now teams, not clearly, or obviously not as much as the Rams are, but you get a guy like that, it's going to solidify what that pass rush is going to be. Especially again if you lose a guy like a Dafe Owe. So I think that was a good thing. I think it's a good thing that they got an older defensive end in the draft, if you don't pay attention to the ramifications of getting an old guy who's going to be 30 by the time that his fifth year option comes into play. That's Staying positive. Staying positive. So yeah, that's the Chargers. I mean, I again, that offensive line was dog shit, and it ruined so many games for them. That's such a big thing. Getting those, at least they made the moves. Going to the Chiefs. All right. Big time bad last year. Offense looked disjointed. You're making Patrick Mahomes play hero ball. He has to play perfect every single game. And if he's anything less than playing perfect, you're going to lose that game. He wasn't perfect all season. They lost a lot of games. Um, they got rid of Matt Nagy, which is good. Because he was their offensive coordinator for since 2023, I think, and he's a boring, not good play caller. I mean, from 2023 to I guess they were good in 2020, but 2024 and 2025, that offense was just boring and dead. And some of that has to do with like the personnel and stuff like that, like the playmakers that they have. But that kind of comes down to my biggest thing for them. Obviously, their biggest signing in free agency was them getting Kenneth Walker III. If there was a player, I said this last week when I was doing the NFC West. If there was a player that was the postseason MVP, it was Kenneth Walker. He's real good. He was a Super Bowl MVP, so he kind of got his comeuppance there. Is comeuppance the right word? That's comeuppance sounds like it's like a negative thing. He got his due. That also sounds bad. He got an award. There you go. He got a ribbon. They signed Kenneth Walker. Their running game has been terrible for the last couple years. Isaiah Pacheco was good in 2022 and 2023. He got hurt in 2024. He kind of came back for that postseason kind of run that they did, but that injury looked like it affected him a lot. And then he was bad in 2025, and they were relying on Kareem Hunt to be the guy to move the ball on the ground, and that's not what you want. You don't. It's 2025, 2026. You don't want to rely on Kareem Hunt, man. Maybe in 2018 that would have been fine, but this is no, thank you. So they got a good running back. He's the best running back that they've had maybe since 2020, since 2018, maybe. He's good. No, because Isaiah Pacheco was really good. He's a massive upgrade from what they've been dealing with. He's a massive upgrade from what they've had. So that's going to be huge, and that kind of goes into the number 2 thing for me. Is Eric Bieniemy is their new offensive coordinator. They're new, not even new to them. He was their offensive. He was with the team, with the Chiefs from 2013 to 2022. He was their offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2022. He was their offensive coordinator when they were a goddamn juggernaut, man. He was awesome. He was that offense was unbelievable. Now, could that have been because Travis Kelce was in his prime and Tyreek Hill was in his prime and they had everything going for him? Maybe that was when Patrick Mahomes was in his prime. Probably, I could maybe argue that he's not. I could definitely be wrong about that. That was inflammatory. I shouldn't have said that. But yes, they got Eric Bieniemy. He's a big run game guy. He's a hard ass coach, which is fun. I don't know if Matt Nagy was really a hard ass. Matt Nagy was just like a nothing burger. Like there's all kinds of like stories and stuff that came out about Eric Bieniemy, like when he went to be Washington's OC in 2023, and like none of the players liked him, and that offense was not good. But Bieniemy is going to give them some stank. He's going to get that run game going, which is going to be huge because you get Patrick Mahomes coming off of his ACL. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to play at the beginning of the season. I could definitely see them doing that and having him go out there. Their first game is against the Broncos, which I'm not entirely sure you want to put your super duper star quarterback out there against Nick Bonito when he's coming up for his first game off of an ACL. Their schedule's set up. The Chiefs have a bye in week 5. So the schedule is set up for Mahomes to go on the PUP list, miss those first 4 games, and then come back in week 6. I think that would be the smart thing to do. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. Regardless, when he does come back, still going to be testing out a new knee. He tore his ACL late last season. Getting the run game going is just going to be huge for him. It's gonna make it so that the defensive lines and the linebackers and everything have to take a lick it's not it's going to make it so there's less pressure on Patrick Mahomes immediately. I don't know if he's necessarily immediately going to have those moves that he has where he just gets out of sacks and avoids pressure and everything like that. I don't know if that's going to be in his bag immediately or this year at all. So getting that running game going is going to be huge for them. Also, again, Eric Bieniemy is not Matt Nagy, so that's huge. That again, Matt Nagy, not fun, boring, and sucks. Coach of the year though, 2018, double doink, baby. The third thing that I have for him is I got Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of, I believe it was LSU. Make sure that's right. How do I do this? I believe it was LSU. Yes, LSU. Very, very good. He is sticky. He can play everything. He's got short arms, but he still makes plays on the ball despite that. Like, the guy is just constantly in a great position. And then also in the run, he's a great tackler too. He's like not he's if they're running to the outside, a lot of times you'd be like, okay, you just got to make a cornerback miss. That's not a hard thing to do. You could just run through him. Not Mansour Delane, man. The guy's a phenomenal player, and that's huge because in free agency, they lost Jalen Watson, and they also traded Trent McDuffie to the Rams. So I mean, being able to get to restock there immediately is a huge thing. I don't necessarily like that they traded up to get him, but he's a good player. If you take the trade out of it, if that's not something that's interesting to you, Mansour Delane is just a really good player. And then also, they re-signed L'Jarius Sneed, who was good for them from 21 and 22, I believe, is the years. Or was it 22, 23, whatever it was. He was with them before. He was really good. Went to Tennessee on a big contract. Sucked there. Now he's back in Kansas City. Hopefully he doesn't continue to suck. Hopefully getting back with Steve getting back with Spags. The guy has a knack for making defensive backs better than maybe what they should be. Clearly, with him going to Tennessee and just kind of being shit there. So that's a good thing. That's a real good thing. They lost Brian Cook. They in free agency as well. Their safety. So really, their only guy coming back. They're only good. They're only definitely above average defensive back that's coming back from last year's Chamari Connor. Their other safety. You could tell me Noel Williams is above average. I wouldn't say that's consistent. But yeah, so no, my point is that they got Mansour Delane, very good cornerback, will be there for a long time, until they trade him for a bunch of picks again, probably, because that's what they do. So yeah, I like the things that the Chiefs did. I like the additions that the Chiefs made on offense were good. Staying positive. The additions that they did make were good. I don't think they made enough. I don't think they added enough shit, but it's good, and Mansour Delane will definitely help that defensive backfield out, especially when it looked real bad, real bad when they lost both their corners. They also signed, they drafted Peter Woods, a DT from the defensive tackle from Clemson. He was like the most all-around defensive tackle in the draft, I would say. I think that's a fair assessment from him. Like, there was some defensive tackles in the draft that were big-bodied run stoppers, some of them that were definitely better at getting after the quarterback. But Peter Woods is good at both of those things. He's a little cannonball. He's a short little guy, cannonball guy. Just a meatball. Anyway, Mansour Delane, Eric Bieniemy, Kenneth Walker. On to the Raiders. Raiders were terrible. When I say that the Chargers had the worst offensive line in the NFL, that was because of, like I said, injuries and like bad signings and stuff like that. The Raiders were right there, but theirs was because of talent. And also, Geno Smith was their quarterback, and everything was terrible for him. They got the first overall pick. They used it on Fernando Mendoza. They got rid of Pete Carroll. They got Clint Kubiak, and he brought a handful of guys with him. Um, I'm not going to put Fernando Mendoza or Clint Kubiak or Fernando Mendoza in my big three positive things that they did this year, because for Fernando Mendoza, I don't. Well, I'll say Clint Kubiak first. I'm tepid. I'm tepid on a. I want to see a head coach be a head coach first before I say that it was good. You know what I mean? Like I don't like it seemed like a very good thing when the Dolphins got Mike McDaniel, and it was good for a couple years, and then it just went to dog shit. And Clint Kubiak is like not charismatic at all. Kind of just a I don't want to call him a piece of shit, but he's a turd. You know, like you listen to him talk, he's like, oh, this guy's got nothing going on. It's the exact opposite of Mike McDaniel if you're into that quirky shit. But for Fernando Mendoza, I'm not putting him in the big three because I don't. If everything works out perfectly for the Raiders this year, Fernando Mendoza does not play a snap. Well, he doesn't play a meaningful snap. Might be a garbage time. Might be a meaningless Week 18 game. He doesn't play a snap in the first half of the season. And that's because my first thing is that they got Kirk Cousins. I think that's good. I think that's good. That could absolutely backfire. Kirk, if you're trying to get a veteran quarterback for your first overall pick to learn from, Kirk Cousins is a good one. I think Kirk Cousins at this point in time knows who he is, and what he's there for. And it's kind of it might be wrong to call him a placeholder quarterback, but that more or less a placeholder quarterback. He's there to get through this season and help Fernando Mendoza along the way, I think. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so Fernando Mendoza in college, quarterbacks now are do vast majority of their snaps shotgun, like a whole lot of them. Hardly ever doing under center, which and you get a guy with like Clint Kubiak, the offense that it's gonna be heavy under center stuff, and that just means that they in college they do it because the quarterbacks can see the field a lot better. You can do less creative things out of shotgun than you can with an NFL style offense. This under center thing going on, and Kirk Cousins has got a lot more experience. He's got a lot more experience. Obviously, he's been around forever. Um, you don't want your rookie quarterback, your first overall pick, to get bad habits out of doing under center when he just has not had any exposure to it at all. I'm sure he's picking it up quickly. Seems like a smart dude, but getting exposure to it in the spring and in the fall when you've got a red jersey on and nobody can touch you, or like the spring where you're just wearing a helmet and shorts, like that's different than lined up under center and having two linebackers in the A gaps right on either side of the center yelling at you. You look back last year with J.J. McCarthy, that first game that they had, was that against the Bears? Uh, I think it was whoever the hell it was, but the defense just lined up two guys in the A gaps, and JJ McCarthy freaked the fuck out for the entire first 3 quarters of the game. Ended up having a fine fourth quarter and got Offensive Player of the Week, which is very funny given what we know now. But you don't want to expose a quarterback to that if you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like if you can just have him be, obviously the prototype is Patrick Mahomes, where he sat behind Alex Smith, who had a lot of experience, like Kirk Cousins has a lot of experience winning, and it just learned, soak it all in. Then he comes in and Mahomes came in 2018 and just fucking ripped dicks off. Because that's got to be what the Raiders are hoping for. And if Kirk Cousins can hold that job, that's going to be massive for them. Because the worst thing that could happen is not the worst thing that could happen. A very bad thing that could happen would be would be the Raiders starting quarterback just sucking shit while Fernando Mendoza is in practice ripping it up. Because then the players, I mean, that's why it's so hard to tank in the NFL, is because players are playing for a contract. You don't want those guys to be like, this other guy back here is doing well. Why are we playing the slapdick? Why do we have this slapdick quarterback out here? I think Fernando Mendoza, or not, I think Kirk Cousins is going to give the Raiders some reliability there. I don't necessarily see Kirk Cousins being the type of quarterback who's going to suck shit like that and make the players be like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? Especially since their wide receivers are trash. Okay, so Kirk Cousins, I believe that's going to be a huge thing. I'm totally prepared for him to go out there and look terrible again, and I just don't think that's going to happen. Second best thing that they did, I like that they rebuilt their linebackers. Their defense last year, you could tell me that those guys, I'm trying to think of I don't necessarily want to know if it's the polite way to say it. They didn't want to play football. They had Devin White, Landon Roberts, and Jamal Adams were their linebackers last year. So this year, they signed Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker in free agency. That's just about as big of an upgrade as you could possibly have. Nakobe Dean absolutely rips, dude. Nakobe Dean is so good. He's so good. The guy, he tore his patellar tendon at the end of the 2024 season, comes in halfway through the 2025 season for the Eagles, takes Jahad Campbell, the Eagles' first-round pick linebacker last year, Nakobe Dean wins his job back and is just fucking awesome. It's like, oh, that guy tore his patellar tendon. He probably can't do nothing. He's running downfield with Jahmyr Gibbs, dude. He doesn't have a goddamn knee, and he's awesome, and he's such a good blitzing a linebacker. If he squares up with a running back and pass protection, man, he's going to win. He just bodies these guys. He bodies them. He's so good. Same with Quay Walker. Quay Walker is an awesome linebacker. They got him from Green Bay. My point. It's huge. It's one of the biggest upgrades, and it's a John Spytek taking a page. That's the Raiders GM taking a page out of Howie Roseman, the Eagles GM. He's taking a page out of Howie Roseman's book, where you try to make the 2021, 2022 Georgia defense. That's where both Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker are from. They're familiar with each other. They've played with each other. They're going to continue. They're going to be great. It's a massive upgrade for the spine of that Raiders defense. Gonna be one of the most improved units in all of the NFL this year, I imagine. I can't see, again, like with the Chargers offensive line, the bar being so low, man, is the Raiders defense just about the same area. So they're going to be a lot better. The biggest signing that they made this year, this is my number 3, is getting Tyler Linderbaum. They didn't necessarily change their offensive line a whole lot, which is not super great, but getting Tyler Linderbaum as a center, he's one of the best centers in the NFL. He hasn't had any All-Pros or anything like that, but he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. In the Pro Bowl, kind of like the mystique, the prestige, a good word, Jake. Thank you, Jake. The prestige of the Pro Bowl has worn off. I would argue that for offensive linemen, it hasn't really. Now, obviously, they don't do anything in a flag football game, so it's just an award that they win. But he's a 3-time Pro. Hasn't been All Pro. He rocks. They signed him to a 3-year, $81 million contract. I think like $60 million is guaranteed. It's massive. It's a massive contract, and he's well worth it, dude. He's been the guy with the Ravens for the past 3, 4, 5, 6. No, not that many years. Let's see exactly how many years that he was with the Raiders. Bio. He's been with the Raiders from 2022. So 22, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he's with the Raiders for the last 4 years. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. He's the phenomenal center. He's really just going to be an anchor for that offense. And again, if you're looking for an offensive line that's not going to let your quarterback get fucking crushed every single play, and if Fernando Mendoza does come in, Tyler Linderbaum's going to be great. The guy's got an incredible amount of experience. I don't necessarily know who's going to be calling protections. I imagine since Kirk Cousins got experience doing it, it'll probably be him, but who knows? It's going to be great. That offensive line sucked, and he's held down the Ravens' offensive line, and he's just going to be a solid rock for them. So for the Raiders, Kirk Cousins, rebuilt linebackers, Tyler Linderbaum are the three big things for them. I think that's everybody. That's all four teams. I did Broncos, I did the Chargers, I did the Chiefs, and the Raiders. Awesome. Okay, I will be back with you guys next week. Also, if I left something out, it's not because I didn't think that it was important. It's probably because I forgot. Probably that's unless there is something that I don't think was important. I probably just forgot. More than likely forgot. But thank you guys for joining me. This is solid. Doing this all in one take, not because it is because I don't know how to edit, but also I don't really want to learn how to edit. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you next week for the downsides of the AFC West. Bye.